Hi, today we're going to talk about how to hone your intuition to get a big advantage in your life. I want to talk about intuition and how tapping into your own intuition can make your life so much better, so much easier, and more successful, and frankly, a lot more fun and exciting. Now, you might say, geez, I'm not that intuitive, never have been. Well, I'll tell you what, everyone is born with intuition. And even though you may not have been honing your intuition until now, don't think you can't develop intuitive skills that will guide you and give you a big advantage in life. So, if you don't consider yourself to be intuitive, it's important to realize how and when your intuition got shut down. In this world where we're told to be practical and reasonable, to think things through logically, to never act quickly, to wait until you've analyzed every single little thing, looked at every pro and con until you're absolutely certain you have the right information to make the right decision and get the right answer, we often end up paralyzing ourselves into a state of mediocrity or even fear that we cleverly disguise as practicality. It's commonly known as paralysis by analysis. Notice the first part of the word analyze is anal, right? If you become too anal in your approach to life, you can very likely cut your flow of intuition off completely. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to analyze some situations or big decisions in your life. And of course, you need to weigh those pros and cons. But so often, disconnecting from your reasoning brain, which is your left brain, and opening up to your right brain or your intuitive brain, when you need to really understand something or make an important decision, gives you a more accurate reading of the situation. Your intuition goes beyond analysis into the very essence of what makes something what it is. And I can tell you without fail, every time my intuition was telling me not to do something and I analyzed my way past that intuition, rationalizing why it was a good decision and everything would be just fine, well, turned out not to be fine at all. That guy I felt from the beginning was insincere and not telling the truth ended up taking my money in an investment in a company that was built on pure lies and fraud. Another time when I was trying desperately to make the right decision on which school to send my kids to, I ignored my intuition that was telling me not to send them to this really small school, even though they really, really wanted to go and begged me to go. I had an intuitive dream, and it was that it was a bad decision. But I broke down because my kids were pushing for it. And when I analyzed it, it seemed like the rational choice. So I rationalized it away, ignored my intuition. That school, I ended up enrolling my children in for 1 year before I yanked them out, caused all of us heartache and problems as my daughter ended up being bullied by kids whose parents taught them those bad habits. I looked back and so regretted not following my intuition. Conversely, there was that small investment that my husband and I felt intuitively was so perfect for us to invest in. It was a startup tech company with a stock that was offered to us at a very, very low startup price by someone who had bought in at the founding of the company. And they wanted just to unload some of their stock. So it was a really low price. But instead of relying on our own intuition, which said, let's go for it, this seems right, we called a friend who was a super expert analyst on Wall Street at the time. We asked for his expert analysis, and he told us not to bother. He said this company called Facebook would never have a model to monetize and would drop like a bomb very soon. Why didn't we just follow our intuition and skip his analysis? That was a multi-million-dollar lesson. Oh well, lessons learned, right? So how about the time I did follow my intuition, even when it seemed crazy and made no sense? One time I went to an out-of-town event at the last second, not even really knowing why I was doing it. Suddenly all these forces around me were telling me to go, that I needed to go. And I went with it. I followed my intuition, didn't know why I was going, but that was when I met my soulmate and husband, the love of my life. And how about the time when I encouraged my daughter to quit her place on the crew team that she couldn't stand anymore, feeling certain she would still get the perfect college offer just based on her own grades. She ended up at one of the top film schools in the country and followed her dreams to work in Hollywood. Now, if she had followed her dad's analysis, he was saying, you'll never get in, it's not going to work. When I analyze all this, you've got to do this. But being able to follow your own heart and your own intuition is the important thing. So what are the things that can shut you off from your intuitive self? Well, getting angry, impatient, or even exasperated shuts off the spigot to your intuitive flow. Intuition flows through your higher creative brain. So when you get pissed off or upset or angry at someone, you go into your more primitive brain and you don't think as well. And your energy goes away from your critical thinking and intuition and into anger, survival, and fear mode. There are studies that prove that when you live in fear, you're not as creative because you are choking yourself off from your creative, intuitive mind. You may find that following your intuition can occasionally lead to making a mistake or having something fail. But failing or being wrong about something is one of the fastest ways to learn and to accelerate real success. I promise you, there is no successful person who has not failed, learned a great deal from it, perfected and tweaked their focus or path, and gone on to succeed brilliantly. I promise you that if you're willing to trust yourself and your intuition more, in spite of any failures or adjustments you'll have to make to your pursuits, you will move more consistently toward your true dreams and toward your ultimate destiny than if you had played it safe by paralyzing yourself through overanalyzing everything. Sometimes the most wonderful, unexpected discoveries come to you when you haven't planned or analyzed, when you just trust your gut and follow your intuition. Life will invariably surprise you with some of her greatest rewards, which are better than you could have imagined or planned for yourself. I really hope you'll start to utilize that wonderful, soft, gentle place in your mind where you can go to ask the questions, make your inquiries without judgment, and then follow your intuition that will lead you along your most rewarding and often amazing journey possible. If you like this video and it was helpful, please hit the like button below because it helps YouTube find other people who might need the same help. And tell me in the comments, what were the times that you did or did not use your intuition and where did that lead you? I love hearing your stories. Also, please subscribe to my channel and share this with a friend. I'm cheering you on in your intuitive journey.